imagine this. You hire the builder of the year. You're thinking, finally, someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, spoiler alert, he did not know what he was doing.
Nope. Instead, our homeowner watched on their Ring camera as this award-winning contractor went full Godzilla, trampling through Grandma's heirloom garden like it was a parking lot.
Oh, and it gets better. Then he left the house wide open before a storm hit, rained straight into the living room, right into custom-made bookshelves made by their father, who just so happened to have passed away.
Fairly heirlooms turned into warped particle board.
Builder of the year, more like Bumbler of the decade.
This is Chicks and Constructions, where we talk about what happens when dream builds meet demolition derby.
Well, hello and welcome back to another episode of the Chicks in Construction. I am your host, Mikki Paradis, and this is my amazing co-host.
Hi, I'm Jessica Abreu.
And listen, I'm just going to tell you the truth because I think that's important. Last episode we recorded, I did have a TV here that I could just look at myself the entire time, and Joe did take that away. So, so now we're making direct eye contact again, and you're welcome. So listen. It's the new year, new us, season 2, Chicks in Construction. We're here for it. Boom. But here's the thing. We all know that there's a lot of New Year's resolutions that are happening right now. And we, as the chicks in construction, we want to help you out. I will tell you guys, I just dropped this on Jess just now. She just showed up and I was like, hey, we're doing this thing. So listen. I like a snack moment. I'm here for, and also this is not sponsored. But please, Shameless Snacks, if you'd like to,
or shamelessly talking about Shameless Snacks,
please sponsor us. But this is not sponsored. But I love candy. That's a problem. Because I'm not supposed to be eating. I was supposed to be limiting my sugar, and gluten isn't everything, and so it's really hard to find gluten-free candy.
Mm-hmm. Especially, do you like the gummy stuff?
Yes. And that it always has gluten because, like, isn't gelatin have gluten in it? I don't know. I just made that up.
But it's in a lot of the stuff.
It's literally everywhere. It is like drywall dust. It gets everywhere. So see how I tied that in, guys? So I found Shameless Snacks, and it is gluten-free, vegan, and it has a good source of dietary fiber because we all know we need more fiber in our lives. So what I was thinking, I've already tried some of these, but Jess is going to get in on the mix. We're going to try them on air, an ASMR moment. Oh my God, these smell so good. Try them. Okay, so that is the peach ones.
Ew, peach.
Oh, do you hate peach? Here, try the berry then. Okay, so this is.
I'm sorry, I'm terrible. No, the peach smell great.
I love peach.
Very smell.
Yeah. So, you guys, these are so good. It has 3 grams of sugar, 70 calories.
It's cute. And a little bear.
It's like a little gummy bear. I'm telling you, they're non-GMO, gluten-free. Are they like the look on Jess's face is suggesting she's not a fan? I'm a fan. Anyway.
It tastes really good.
But
the texture is off for me.
When was the last time you had like a regular gummy bear?
I don't know.
Halloween?
I don't know, but I'm like,
no.
Let me try a peach one just for.
Listen,
it can't be any worse.
Well, if you hate peach, it is very peachy.
These aren't little bears; they're little hearts.
No, yeah, they're little hearts. Very cute. We're getting live polling right now from Jess. It's a no. It's an absolute no. Joe is laughing at us. He's like, "What are you guys doing? This is a podcast about construction. We're trying to help you guys out." But Jess says no.
The texture is better on these.
Right.
I just don't like peach anything. So
that's fair.
But
I love a peach moment.
I want this.
Shameless Snacks, if you're watching.
This texture.
In that flavor.
This flavor.
They do have a crap ton of flavors. I did buy like the sample pack of all the flavors. Mm-hmm. So I have options. So far I've tried the watermelon, which is pretty tasty. And then they have like a Coca-Cola one that's like, remember those old Coca-Cola like flavored treats that were like in the shape bottles? Of a Coke bottle? Yes. So they have those. Those are pretty good. Listen, are they the same as eating?
No.
a gummy bear. They're not. But they have 3 grams of sugar in the entire bag. So you got to take the win where you can find the win.
Listen, the flavor of both of them is fine. I'm a texture. I'm weird about that, though.
Like, I don't even too, but for some reason that one doesn't bother me.
Do you like jelly beans?
I do.
I do not because of the texture of them.
Oh, interesting. People are wild.
Yeah, you know.
So listen, with that note, people being wild.
Moving on.
We're starting, New Year, new you. Mm-hmm. New Year, new me is what I'm shooting for. I have been reading 2 books simultaneously. I don't know what this is, but we're doing it. It's like Zen. I'm zenning.
You're zenning.
I'm zenning with my books? 2 books.
Okay. What are we reading?
Okay. So I'm pairing one of my all-time favorite authors ever is Gregory Boyle. He's a Jesuit priest based out of Los Angeles. He started the largest gang intervention and reintegration program in the world called Homeboy Industries.
Okay.
Listen, all of his books are fire. 100%. Like, they're so good. His latest book, of course, my mind is going to be like, what's the book called? Cherished Belongings. Thank you. It came back to me. Is so good. It is so good. So, like, it helps me, like, when I'm getting really mad about shenanigans happening, just to realize, like, not everybody's bad. They just make interesting life choices.
Interesting life choices.
Right. Interesting life choices that I don't necessarily support, but it doesn't make them bad people. Because I will immediately get into the space of, like, you're a horrible human being. It's not super helpful. It's not super helpful. But I'm pairing that with the let them theory.
That's what I'm reading. I was that one sounds like
it's fire.
It is.
It's fire.
Amazing.
So it's like the let them, but then also let me. And I was just like, oh my gosh.
I love it.
Because listen, I've been popping off in these streets lately. I've been losing my mind a little bit. I was at a job site the other day and this guy cut a bunch of holes in like a 2-hour fire rated ceiling, which is very big deal because it's 3 layers of drywall plus a layer of RC wind channel.
And he cut holes just for no reason?
Like, honestly, it looked like somebody had locked a beaver in the room and the beaver was trying desperately to get out through the ceiling and he just went and was like eating it. It was real bad.
I really hope that there's a beaver on this.
For Joe, put a beaver. He's like, oh, I'm getting a beaver. So I wasn't my most professional moment and I called him all the way out in the meeting and I was just like, pretend like you have common sense. It didn't go well. So did
he pretend like he had common sense or did he lose his mind too?
It was I would say I think I scared him a little bit.
Okay.
And he just went quiet. He went silent.
And we're gonna.
He was like, "Ooh, she seems unstable. Let me not."
I don't know if she's carrying or not, so I'm just gonna be over here in the corner.
He was worried about his life. Which honestly, in that moment, I could feel my heart beating in the vein in my forehead.
Oh,
yeah. He probably was smart to just be quiet because I don't know. I was about to Hulk out.
He might have seen that.
Yeah. He probably saw the vein and was like, "Oh God, what is that?" And I was like, "It's rage. It's just pure rage coursing through my body right now." So I'm really trying to just be like, let them cut holes in the ceiling. Namaste.
Like an idiot. Let them be stupid.
I was just like, oh, what's happening right now, you guys? I'm not sure. So it's an interesting time to be alive. I'm trying to just be like, what would G-Dog say? That's what they call Gregory Boyle. They call him G-Dog, like all the guys that work at Homeboy Industries. And I'm just like, what would G-Dog do? He probably wouldn't scream at someone in a meeting. I wouldn't say I was screaming. It was like scream adjacent. It was projecting with my diaphragm. But I was also...
The words coming out that were super spicy.
Oh, they were spicy. I was disgusted. So I'm working on that. New year, new me, guys. New year, new me. I'm trying to be less of a salty lady, of a very spicy contractor.
I'm going to take it down a notch.
And, I'm just trying. Just because, like, the amount of, like, unchecked stress in my body from letting everything drive me crazy is like, this can't be good.
It is not good for you.
It's not.
Stress is not good for your body.
No, it's not. It's not. And that is in the book. They talk about that in Let Them theory, about, like, how when we allow other people to kind of hijack the emotions and the stress and let it just take over fully, it's not good for us. So I highly recommend those books. Obviously, Jess is already on to the one, but Cherished Belongings by Gregory Boyle. It's straight fire, but I'm going to say all of his books are. So I think his first one was Tattoos on the Heart. The second one was Barking to the Choir. The third one was The Whole Language, which was my first book that I read by him. Oh my God, I've probably read it 100 times. And then Cherished Belongings. Big fan. Big fan. If G-Dog ever wants to come on the show, I don't think we're a big enough deal, but maybe one day we would host G-Dog. He has nothing to do with construction.
We'll let him male or
still, and he's not a chick, but we would make
guy.
all the exceptions for G-Dog.
I love it.
G-Dog, have your people call my people. I don't have people, just in case you weren't sure. We don't have people. Just call me. Just call Jess. Call anybody. Okay, so today we're going to do a little homeowner horror story. We're going to do it a little differently because it wasn't somebody that wrote in. So I'm going to get to tell the story this time because somebody reached out and asked me to do a little consulting work for them, which happens every 2 years. It's not very common, but when it does, I'm always like, ooh, construction drama. I'm here for it. 100%.
Spill the tea.
Spill it. So I get to investigate and my God, today. So here's to start the story off with, one of the reasons why this person chose the builder was because they won the Builder of the Year award.
How do you win the Builder of the Year award?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think people vote, but also I think it's one of those things where they kind of take a lot of factors into consideration. But I think much like how some people trust a review, they consider this or not even necessarily a review. I don't know. There's a lot of beauty awards, the whatever beauty award. Oh, well, it got the beauty award, so it must be really good. So I think it kind of falls in this category of, if they won the Builder of the Year award.
Was it locally?
It was locally.
Okay, so
I don't want to say which county because they break it up by counties here.
Okay.
When they give the award, I don't want to say which county because then y'all just be able to literally look up who it is. I mean,
you can Google all the counties.
Message me if you want
one of those.
I do love spilling some tea.
Okay, so sorry.
So this it was a huge reason as to why they picked this builder because they got multiple quotes, which I was really happy to hear.
Right.
They got multiple quotes and I was like, get it. It wasn't the highest, but it wasn't the lowest.
Good.
So they not only did they fall within the mid range of the pricing, but they had this Builder of the Year distinguishment. Do we feel like that's a word? Might not be. Anyway, It is now. Put it in the dictionary, folks. So they felt Builder of the Year, they must be trustworthy. But here's my warning to this. Obviously, if you won Builder of the Year, Builder of the Year,
we're winning today.
And we are doing the Lord's work today. It means that you at some point were doing things really well, and that's great. But what I've noticed is if they're a smaller company, the Builder of the Year award opens them up to having access to a lot more work. And if they don't have the infrastructure in place within their company to be able to take on all that work, and they don't understand the importance of saying no to things, all of a sudden they have way more work than they can handle. And what was going to take 3 months is going to take 6 months to a year because they have too much work. They're spread too thin. They're taking all these projects that they don't have the time or space or resources to do.
And they're probably getting subcontractors that aren't the highest quality because they're like, I just need a body there to go work.
Yeah. And so she kind of reaches out to me and she's like, okay, so the story starts like this. And I'm like, tell me everything. Spare no expenses. Tell me everything. So they are doing a kitchen and bathroom renovation and some light outside work. They're going to redo their deck.
Okay.
And there was a couple of pieces of siding on their house that needed to be replaced. So they were going to do that and get it painted. So the outside work was not extensive. But one of the things that she told me straight out the gate was we were very specific on the types of materials, especially for the outside of the house that we wanted to use. So in the decking world, there's a product called Trex. I don't know if you've heard of Trex.
Yeah, it's the kind of
it's a composite.
Yeah.
So it's not wood, which is awesome because it lasts forever. If it's installed properly, it will last forever. It has they have a really great warranty process. So as long as it's installed by an installer that's like got a relationship with Trex, that they've been trained with how their install system goes, your deck essentially is warranted for the lifetime of the home, which is awesome because, you know, decks, I don't know how many times we're going to have to replace our deck. Like, but we tried real hard not to. Like, we would take the boards up as they would like start to rot, and it's like, okay, we're going to have to replace the deck. So Trex is a really awesome product. I'm a big fan. So, and when they said to them, like, this was in the process of getting quotes, they said, this is the product that we want to use. Right. So when they got the over $200,000 estimate, they assumed, because they told them which product they wanted them to quote, that it had the Trex in it.
And it didn't.
It didn't. So that literally raised the price of the deck by $30,000.
Yeah, because it's so much more expensive than the wood.
And it was one of those things where it wasn't until the product, like the wood that they were going to replace the deck with, was delivered that they realized that they didn't quote it with Trex. So the wood gets delivered, the homeowner calls the builder and is like, whoa, this isn't Trex. Like, they didn't even go through the process because there's like a million different colors. So they didn't go through the process of picking out the color, which she kind of thought was weird. And she was like, that's strange. Why didn't we get to pick out the color and then order it and have it delivered? Because they were just going to do the wood and then stain it, and they would figure out the stain color later. And she was like, no, like, that's not what we talked about. So the builder's like, oh, well, we quoted it as wood, so in order for you to have Trex, you're going to have to pay more. And she's like, okay, well, how much more? And he's like, $30,000, which I do know the Trex is spicy priced.
Right.
And it was a medium to large-ish deck, but it wasn't like this like 4-tiered wild deck, you know, like that you see in the movies. Yeah. Like, it was a deck. It was a regular deck. So a $30,000 price increase was like questionable.
Right.
It didn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, that straight out the gate was like, okay, weird. So immediately their renovation goes from $200,000 to $230,000, just like straight out the gate. And to me, you know,
and I'm like, that doesn't seem right, because you would think that the wood costs a certain amount of money. Like,
right. So
that's got to go back towards.
And so we start out just wrong foot, like started out in the wrong foot. So
to prevent that from happening to someone.
Yeah.
When they're looking at their quote, they should make sure that all of the materials that they want.
Especially if you know going in what the materials you're expecting to be in there are. In the spec sheet, I think the issue is that they did not initially provide all of that. So they had a contract. It wasn't super specific. And this is where being as specific as you can and encouraging your general contractor, or let's just be honest, demanding that your general contractor is extremely specific in the estimate and the contract is really, really important. No, like when you read through it and it says decking and you know you want Trex, go back to the general contractor before you sign anything and say, no, can you put in that this is Trex? So that they know your expectation is this is Trex. Right. And if they don't catch it on their end, well, we are under contract, because, like, you know how it goes. It's going to be on them. It's going to be on the homeowner.
And like, if it said it, then if it was going to be 30,000 more, then you have the option at that point to be like, oh no, maybe I don't really want that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for me, this was a big conflict of like, how do I advise them? Like, at the end of the day, they were under the impression that $200,000 included the Trex, and they went with this builder because other builders had it included in their price, and they were higher. Now, we don't know if the lower bids, but like in their mind, this is the most amount of money that I'm going to spend. And then you come back and you're like, oh no, whoops, we forgot that. I think it kind of gives to me like either you really don't know what you're doing, you're not paying attention, or they were intentionally coming in low so that they can add the price in later, which happens all the time. It happens all the time. So straight out the gate, they're kind of just like, wow, so now this is costing us another $30,000. And as we've learned, prices for renovations are really wild. Like me and Jess are just kind of like, what? For $230,000, I could literally build you a house. And I could
go buy a house.
I don't know where, but we could do it.
Nice little double wide.
Facts. A little double wide trailer. Listen, we could build a real nice trailer. I'm just saying. I've seen these tiny houses people are coming up with.
Oh, they're so cute.
I'm a fan. So that's like first issue. And immediately I'm just like, okay. So I'm like, tell me more. So one of the big issues was in multiple times she had conversations with this builder. She told them that her mother, who has passed, planted these, I guess they're perennials. Is that the word for plants that can regrow every year?
Yes.
So her mother, when she was alive, had planted these bulbs in the front of like where the existing deck was.
Okay.
And she said, listen, are you guys going to give me a heads up so that I can either protect the plants or dig them up because they're really important to me?
Oh, no.
Yeah, you know exactly where this is going.
Oh, no.
So she goes to the beach and looks on her Ring camera, and they're literally hacking her plants up, digging them out of the ground, and threw them all in the trash. Part of the problem with this entire homeowner horror story is that this, best in show, if you will, builder didn't have any supervision on the job pretty much from the start to finish. So this homeowner was managing the job, letting them know when things were delivered. They weren't even aware. Like she told me the story where they had some product delivered and she reaches out to the builder and she was like, are you guys ever going to start? And he's like, well, we're waiting for the materials to be delivered. And she's like, they've been in my garage for 2 weeks. Like,
how do you not know?
Absolutely no idea what's happening. And like, I think like from the research that I did, they took on way too many projects. They won this award. Everybody was reaching out to them because
they just saw a dollar sign.
And they just saw the dollar signs. They didn't consider the reason that they won this award is because they worked really hard to have this really good reputation where people would nominate them for this award, where people would encourage them to receive the award. And now they've undone all of that by taking on all of this work because, cha-ching, 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 money, money, money. And I'm like, listen, I mean, I understand money. I want to be rich. Please like and subscribe so that I can be. But there's a point where like you have to like in my business, we don't take on more work than we can feasibly all be a part of doing because my reputation really matters to me. I don't want to stretch my guys too thin. I don't want them to be on more projects than they can handle. I don't want us to not be able to give every one of our clients the same amount of attention, no matter what. So like we will often turn down work because I know how much our guys can handle every year. And so it's a hard decision because like, let's be honest, I'm probably not going to own a private jet or a private island in my life.
Not unless you like and subscribe.
Not unless you like and subscribe. Please, thank you.
It's free.
It is free. It is free for you, and it helps me make money so I can be a stay-at-home dog mom. Come on, don't you want that for me? Everybody's like, absolutely not, which is fair. So I think they just took on way too much work. They didn't have the staffing, and this homeowner is paying $230,000 to essentially be the project manager on her own project. Terrible. So she looks in her Ring camera.
Did any of the plants survive?
No. And like the issue with that is it's a value that is untangible. Like the value of, having something that your mother who has since passed in your yard that she planted herself and to be able to look at those things every season when they come up and just feel that connection. Like, how do you put a price on that?
You do not.
You don't. And so it gets worse. Like,
oh no.
And this was kind of the theme of the whole story. Like the theme of the whole story was they had no idea what was going on our project. when I would reach out to them and ask them when things were going to start or when, what the process was or the progress we were making was, 9 times out of 10, they didn't even know that the materials had been delivered or that we were ready. And it was just, she was constantly reaching out to the general contractor. So there was like multiple people within the company. Only one of them was obviously the licensed GC, but they had project managers, and she was mostly dealing with the project manager. And I thought this was a very interesting tidbit. And I did see some of the text messages. I wasn't there for all of the conversations, but the person that this guy hired, this licensed general contractor hired, had no skin in the game in the sense of like, it wasn't his license that he was going to lose. It was this other guy's.
Right.
So whenever she would reach out to him, he would be really disrespectful. He would be very dismissive of her. And he was in a large way part of the problem. So he wasn't communicating. He wasn't aware of what was happening. And this general contractor was expecting, was entrusting this guy to handle it, which I don't know what the fix for that is. Like, a large general contracting company or a medium-sized general contracting company, you're probably not going to be dealing with, in all aspects, the actual licensed GC. Obviously, we have a legal responsibility to make sure that we're aware of what's happening on the projects that our license is being pulled to permit. And I will say, on the plus side, she did not have any problems with them being licensed, with them pulling permits. They were pulling permits the entire time. So that was like plus. They weren't trying to pull that like, oh no, we don't need permits. Part of it, and because that was like one of the second questions I asked, her husband works in the permitting department. And so these people came into it knowing that that was not something that they were going to be able to get away with not getting permits, because her husband works in the permitting department. So I don't know if that was a piece of it. Smartly, they did pull all the permits. That wasn't a problem. So there's like, that's a plus. Yep. We're here for that. But the managing of the job was kind of wild. So when she sees that they have pulled up all of her plants that were planted by her mother and that they've been destroyed, she was really upset.
I mean, I cried.
Yeah, no, she was really devastated. And went to the GC, and they were sorry, but what is sorry gonna do when it was like she told them multiple times about this. It wasn't like she mentioned in passing before they started. Multiple times, many conversations when the actual correct decking was delivered. Hey, remember, we got it. Just kind of dismissing her concerns. And then she goes out of town. She didn't even know they were going to start. So they came to like demo the deck. And when they did, they just took everything out like machete style, like just cha 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 cha. And I'm just like, ooh. So when she approaches the builder their response to everything that they messed up is, oh, don't worry, we're going to do something really nice for you at the end. And I was like, what? Like,
we're going to do something really nice for you? Like, give me my money back?
Right. So that is where my mind went. I was like, for your idea of nice and my idea of nice might be very different.
Yes. What is the nice thing?
Well, we never even got there, because she kind of reached out to me to be like, what do I do? And I was like, no, you want compensation monetarily. So the first thing we did was we read her entire contract to see what kind of language they had for things like this. And there wasn't anything that covered how they would handle mistakes to this level. Unfortunately, it kept continuing on. So the siding that they had to replace is like, there was a couple of pieces of siding that were kind of rotted out.
Right.
So they come on a Friday to demo, and it was like some siding, and then they realized as they were in there were some soffit. So like the soffit is like the underside of your roof. And a lot of times it can be hardy board, it can be a plastic material. Hers was wood, and so they removed it because it needed to be replaced.
Okay.
And then left for the weekend. They didn't cover anything with a tarp. They didn't cover anything with plastic. They didn't protect the areas that they ripped the siding off at all. And then it rained all weekend. Yeah. Yeah.
So water got everywhere. And
here's where it's like, it sounds like I'm making this up. But so apparently her husband's father, who has since passed, It's not funny, but I'm laughing because I stress response laugh at inappropriate times. Before he passed away, when they were building the house, he built these built-in custom wood bookshelves that just so happened to be
on
the wall where they removed the siding, and they were destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
So the water intrusion was so severe that the entire ceiling of the room that the siding was removed on had to be completely torn down. Like, it fell in places, and they had to end up just taking out the entire ceiling, all the insulation, all the wall, the exterior wall,
Holy moly.
where the bookshelves were built.
Of course.
And because they were custom built, it wasn't like it could just be moved. Like, they had to be deconstructed. The wood was really wet. It was really warped. It was not salvageable.
God.
And so that was when she reached out to me, because it was just like, I don't know what to do in this situation. And when she was irate and was like, what is wrong with you all? All they said to her was, oh, well, don't worry. We're going to take care of you in the end. We're going to do something really nice.
But like, you're ruining her whole house.
Right. Like, you've now destroyed two irreplaceable things.
And that whole side,
Right.
like, now
And
you have to take off all the siding, right? And
right. So they had to take out a good amount of the siding. They had to completely, gut that entire room, which that room wasn't a part of the renovation. So now
I hope it's not
yes.
being added to the cost.
Well, so they tried, and I was like, absolutely not. So then they tried to say, okay, here's the cost. And she was like, no, I think
sorry.
You should send this to the subcontractor that you brought out that didn't care enough about my house to put some tarp up over the areas of siding and soffit that they just ripped off and then left. So she had enough, like, absolutely not in her to be like, no, we won't. So then they tried to file a claim on her insurance. The general contractor tried to have her homeowner's insurance pay for the mistake. And she didn't even tell her about it. She just got a call from her insurance company saying, hey,
is that legal?
I am not 100% sure. I wasn't able to talk to her insurance adjuster.
Lord.
But she gets a call from her insurance company saying, hey, we're a little confused. This company is trying to file a claim against your homeowner's insurance, but it sounds to us like it is a claim that should be being made against their general liability insurance.
Right.
And she was like, absolutely not. They are not to make, and like, this claim should be denied. And like, had to like, the amount of paperwork.
Cancel.
Yeah, it was just wild. So not only is her plans ruined, the bookshelf built by her father-in-law who has passed ruined, but then she's having to defend that these are not legitimate claims on her homeowner's insurance.
Right, because your homeowner's insurance will go up every single time that you make a claim.
Yeah, especially with a water intrusion claim.
Right.
When I think I told the story once before that when I was renting, listen, I know these people don't watch the pod, but my God, today. Worst landlords ever. The husband tried to fix a leak. We had a leaky faucet. That was all it was on the second floor. It was a little townhouse.
Yes, I
and
remember.
He flooded the entire second floor, which caused the entire first floor. We had to stay in hotels. There was damage to our furniture. And we ended up having to file a claim against our renter's insurance because they weren't going to cover any of that. And when we bought our house, the fact that we had a water intrusion claim was a huge deal. And we had to explain it like ad nauseum. So like a water intrusion claim is a really big deal. It's bigger than like, oh, a tree fell in my yard. It's a very big deal. So she was like, absolutely not. So she goes back to the builder. Well, it's not the licensed GC. It's this person that's in charge of her project. And she was like, I don't even want to talk to you anymore. I want to speak to the licensed general contractor, the person whose name is on the line. He comes out, he sees everything, and he just throws this other guy all the way under the bus. And while I'm sure what he's saying is true, the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, it was his license on the line. It was his company that was on the line.
And so, you hired the idiot.
Right. Like, so this has happened. I hear this all the time. It happens so much in construction. like, oh, it wasn't me, it was so-and-so. Is it your company? Okay, then it was you. And so again, with this, after trying to falsely file an insurance claim against her homeowner's insurance, it wasn't met with, oh, we're gonna give you some of your money back because we've now cost you this bookshelf that you weren't even planning on touching.
Right.
And we're gonna compensate you for that. No, it was, don't worry, we're gonna do something really nice for you at the end. So this is when she kind of reached out to me and was like, all right, I don't know what to do here. And I was like, well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to read your contract. So we went through our contract and we're just like, hey, listen, where does it talk about changes? Does it talk about, if errors are made, like what the general contractor says they're going to do? And it didn't touch on that at all. Yeah. So then it was like, okay, so now you need to find out what amount of money feels like a fair amount to be compensated for these things being damaged. Because obviously it's not just, oh, bulbs cost this much money. Right. It has an emotional value to it that honestly money is not going to fix. But I get to decide what nice thing I'm going to do for myself once this renovation is over. That's not your job as a general contractor to offer me something nice. Yeah. How much money are you compensating me for destroying irreplaceable plants? How much money are you compensating me for? And here's the thing. Why I think it matters that we hold people financially accountable is because at the end of the day, money is the biggest motivator. How much that cost you. You messed it up and now it's going to cost you an amount of money and that's going to affect your bottom line. And the hope is that if you make enough mistakes that cost you enough money, you will stop making that mistake. So how much were those plants worth to you? How much was that bookshelf worth to you? Obviously, it can never be replaced, but what amount of money is going to make you feel better? Right. So she went to the general contractor and said, actually, I don't want you to do anything nice for me. What I want for you is to do your job. I am not going to manage the project anymore. I'm not going to tell you when materials are delivered. If you don't know, you're in violation of your contract. So do what you said you're going to do in the contract. And here is how much money I want for the bookshelf and for the plants that you guys damaged because you were just being careless and you weren't paying to have somebody monitoring the job. Right.
And you can go ahead and fix the whole side of my house with your insurance. Stop trying to 100%.
So yeah. And
so where are they now? Are they?
So, there is a little bit of a stalemate situation. So the second that
she pushed back,
all of a sudden, crickets. And the thing was when I advised her of this, I was like, I want you to understand that if these people are truly unethical, they will ghost you. They're not going to take it seriously. You're not going to hear from them. So I wanted her to know, like, it's a choose your own adventure moment. Like, it's important for you to stand up for yourself. It's important for you to stand up for,
How much money has she already given him?
So I will say their deposit process was about 25% of the total. So it was something along the lines of like $75,000. But she felt like they had that money had been spent. Okay. But I was like, do not write them another check until you have it in writing, the agreement that they're going to compensate you for the bookshelf and for the plants.
Is the siding covered with tarps now?
Yes. So they did. Good. That was the thing when the GC came out, and he was like, oh, I'm so sorry. This guy, he's the worst. They came out.
I'm so glad you have him on my project when he's the worst. Thanks for that.
That is my point. About mentioning that. Think about how irresponsible it is as a business owner to just not take responsibility. That is your employee that you put on this person's job that's paying you $230,000 for a kitchen, bath, and a deck renovation. And the first thing you do is throw them under the bus. You're only throwing yourself under the bus. Yeah.
It makes me think of a project manager that we know.
It does 100%. I don't even know if I would call her a project manager.
She calls herself.
I would say that she's somebody who calls herself a project manager that you should absolutely not let on your project. But it's that level of like accountability. Like I'm the owner. It's my company. These are my employees. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, you know, my guys are the worst. They're my guys. Like we screwed up. And it really kind of irked me. One, that he wasn't taking accountability for it. He was throwing it off on somebody else. And two, they weren't offering to compensate her.
Yeah. Like
they were like, we'll do something nice for you. And when she said that to me several times, and I just stopped her and I was like, listen, what I think is nice and what you think are nice could be very different things. And if you just allow them to not financially compensate you for these massive failures, you could end up at the end of the project having fully paid for everything. And their idea of something nice could be flowers.
Or
they did
basket.
Thousands of dollars of damage to your home that is irreplaceable. And they're like, here's some chocolates. We don't know. Who?
A bottle of wine.
Right. Like
no,
absolutely not. No. How much is this worth? Send them the change order. They had absolutely no problem sending her a change order when she clarified that she didn't want a wood deck. She wanted Trex. So they obviously understand the value of the dollar. So, okay, you've damaged something that's irreplaceable. Here's the value of that.
Fix it.
Yeah, go fix it. And so that they're still kind of still in progress. I think it's going to end where she's going to have to replace them. And it's kind of like the story of how a builder who won the Builder of the Year award in less than 6 months after winning that award will probably be getting reported to the licensing board. I was going to say
that's what she's going to do, right?
Yeah,
report him.
100%. Yeah. Her husband works in the permitting department. Like they're not new here. And so that part of why I thought this was a really good story to bring to our viewers is so many of us have no experience in construction. This family did, and they still were getting taken advantage of. They were still having this really crappy experience with the general contractor. They got multiple bids. They went with the middle number. They with the person that had a reputation. Yeah, they checked on all, like he had won the Builder of the Year award. Like that's a huge deal.
Right.
And so the point is that no matter who you are, you can still find yourself in this situation. And the lessons are, I think it's important. Like people make mistakes. They make mistakes. But how they go about trying to fix it and taking responsibility for it, I think makes a really big deal.
It really does. Because if a person comes and is like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Let me take this amount of money off, the total, or let me give you this, or I'll, have somebody else custom build some bookcases for you. I understand that they're not going to be exactly the same, but like, I'm going to do that for you. Like that changes your perception of like the person that made the mistake. You're like, okay.
They're taking responsibility.
Yes, I'll stop being quite so angry.
Right.
If you go, no, I'm going to file this under your insurance and like you're up the creek and I'll just do something nice. You hate them.
Yeah. And it's just like, I feel like maybe Business 101 that's a continuing education class that they offer in North Carolina. Sir, whoever you are, you should probably take that because that's bad business. Doing something nice for somebody when you've damaged irreplaceable items, not one, but two, on not the same occasion, but two separate occasions because you don't have supervision on the job. Okay, no. And I think that is a really, for everybody listening, we're going in, we're in the new year, we're going into it. Everybody's like, maybe I want to refresh my kitchen, or maybe make sure that it is very clear in your contract, the amount of supervision that is going to be on that job. Who is going to be your point of contact? Who are you going to be dealing with? Who's going to be making sure deliveries were made to your house? Who's going to be checking on the subcontractors? How frequently does the general contractor plan on being there or having a supervisor on the job? These things genuinely matter. They make a really big difference when it comes to what we're doing, the quality of the product that we're getting. I get it that in renovations, there can't be a superintendent or like a supervisor there the entire time. But I personally think if you're spending $230,000, that does give you the right to every day that they're going to have people working on your project for you to at some point see a supervisor. They should be checking on it.
Shouldn't they be coming in to say like, oh, this is going to be done today, and like making sure with the guys that are going to be doing it that they understand the assignment of what to touch, what not to touch. Don't touch it.
Don't touch it. This is her favorite thing now. I'm here for it. I support it fully. I have special trust. Jess has don't touch it. And I think so, but I think, so like my world is different. We contractually have to have qualified supervision on every job anytime we have guys there. So hence why we don't take on more work than we can handle, because I only have so many people that I considered qualified superintendents. So we take on the amount of jobs that we can have a qualified supervisor on each job. I know that in residential construction and renovation construction, it is different, but I think you should at least see the person, your point of contact. If you've got guys working on your job, they should be there either in the morning or at night, preferably both. Make sure they're starting out right. Make sure they finished right. If they had a qualified person on that job, the plants would have never been torn out, because they would have gotten there before the guys started doing stuff and said, hey guys, don't mess with these plants, or we're going to dig them up. We're not just going to destroy them.
Right.
The same thing with the siding.
Yeah,
if somebody had come at the end and been like, oh, wait, we have to tarp this, none of that would have happened. So making sure that you are very clear on how much this general contractor or their qualified supervisors plan on physically being on site. Asking that question. How often are you going to be here?
Now, when you are getting the bids and stuff from the general contractors, it's usually the general contractor that's coming out to the house to
a lot of times. Yes.
Can you ask to meet whoever the project manager is going to be, so you can be like, let me see if I jive with you? Because if I don't get the good vibe, like, I don't want you in my house.
100%. Because think about it. It is your home that you're actively living in. Of course, you want to have a good relationship with the person that's going to be your main point of contact.
Hey, I don't want like a douche canoe.
100%. We don't have time for shenanigans like that.
I was like, what's a nice way of saying it? I don't know one.
Don't be a douche canoe. That's all I'm saying. I said that the other day, and they go, some young person goes, oh, we're bringing that back. And I was like, it went out? Oh, I've been saying it the whole time.
Yeah. Hashtag we're old.
Here we go. Here we go, old people. So making sure that you're really clear on how much your general contractor is going to be on the job, or your point of contact is going to be on the job there that way, and have it in writing. That way, when you're not getting that kind of service, you can refer to your contract to be like, you are in violation of our contract. You're contractually obligated to have somebody on the job. And here's the thing. Within the construction community, contracts are king. And so me saying, I think that you should be doing this, that, and the other does not matter to a general contractor. They don't care what you think. Let's just be honest. They're like, this is what I do. I'm the expert. Nobody cares what you think. But if you have it in writing that there's going to be a point of contact for you to physically see at least once a day when you've got people working on your job site, on your house that is a job site, and they don't do that, then saying to a general contractor, you're in contract violation, that carries a lot more weight. However, that only works if you have that language
in the contract,
in your contract. So definitely having how frequently you should be seeing a supervisor, how frequently you should be interacting with them, how frequently they should be checking on the physical work with their eyeballs, not with photos, not with FaceTime, eyeballs. Feet on the ground, boots on the ground. That matters. And being clear with your general contractor on what your expectations are is important. If a GC doesn't have that kind of manpower, they're not going to bid your job. And that is better for you. The other piece is like how having it in your contract, how they're going to address damage done by others. So, both of these things, like obviously they were planning on replacing the deck, but she wasn't planning on re-landscaping. So when they damaged irreplaceable perennials, I'm sure they were lovely. What is contractually their obligation to fix it? And if you don't have that in your contract, then you're kind of upon the whim of the contractor. So having some language that, in the event of damage that is, was done by others, this wasn't part of our renovation, these are the things that are going to happen to remedy the situation. Having that language so that you feel comfortable with it, so the general contractor feels comfortable with it. And here's the thing. When you have a really, really solid contract that protects both parties, everybody feels a lot more comfortable, but they also understand this isn't the job to be messing around on.
No.
When your contract is rock solid, you're protected, the general contractor is protected. Everybody understands the expectations because it's literally in writing, and you're not the one that they're going to be putting the world's worst project manager on. It's just they're going to protect their investments because they understand the financial burden of not. And unfortunately, people are people. Money is the motivator. If people aren't properly motivated by money, I don't know what to tell you, but that is in construction. We're all doing it to try to get paid. So making sure that there is a financial repercussion to them not is really important. So I feel like the overarching theme of this homeowner horror story, which is still ongoing, is make sure you have really strong contracts. Make sure you are clear about your expectations of how, when people are going to be there, that it is in writing, that, and especially that you have it in writing how damage to your home that is not part of the renovation will be addressed, because that happens more times than not. I mean, all of these homeowner horror stories, it's like, oh, and then they cut the pipe wrong and it leaked into the ceiling below, and that ceiling below wasn't a part of their initial renovation. So making sure you know how they plan on handling it and that you all feel comfortable with the terms is really, really important.
Yep. And that makes sure that the list of all the materials that you are going to
your spec sheet
have
is really, really important to consider that when you're taking in the bids. Like, so, okay, this one has the Trek, this one doesn't mention the Trek. We need to follow up on that. It's a lot of work for the homeowner, but I feel like that extra work on the front end will make it so that you had a wonderful experience on the back end.
It's going to make it so much smoother. Yeah. Because everything's in writing.
Like, and
what is it? Being clear is being kind.
Yes.
Right.
We went to this event and this lady was like, clarity is kindness. So being clear about your expectations, it's kindness. And making sure that it's in writing. It is a kindness that you are doing to the general contractor, even if they don't see it that way. Clarity is kindness, and making sure that everybody's aware of what your expectations are, the builder's expectations, and making sure that's in writing. I think that's the best way to have a really smooth renovation.
Sounds it.
So when this story concludes, I will keep you guys posted. She kind of felt like she might be looking for a new general contractor, and she would definitely be reporting this GC to the licensing board.
Absolutely.
So they're going from builder of the year to absolutely don't touch them.
Real quick.
Neck breaking speeds.
And even if they did finish, I would still report them.
I would definitely not leave a 5-star review.
No.
You know, while I have,
I'll wait till like it's all done.
Then
naturally,
so that you don't sabotage my home.
More than you already have. We don't want to make it any more
worse. Irreparable damage or whatever the word is.
Be like, oh, I'm not going to tell them that like my grandmother built anything else in the house. Nobody old touched anything else in the house. You don't have to ruin anything else.
Yeah, I'm like a house full of antiques. We're not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. So if you have a homeowner horror story, we would love it if you would go to chicksandconstruction.com and just scroll down. There's a little page where you can fill out your story. I'm going to preface this. We have kind of been open to like any kind of story that you want to share. That's great. We're here for it. Whether it be a homeowner horror story or if you're a general contractor sharing a story about, how homeowners have interacted with that weren't the best.
Yep.
I think that's really valuable to all of our watchers. If you're trying to sell us things, no, please don't go to chicksandconstruction.com and fill out that form.
We're not buying
that. We're not doing that. So I think maybe I opened the door too widely. We're not even going to respond if you send us messages to try to sell us things. When we want a service, we will find you. So if you're a homeowner or a general contractor, or you in general have a great story that you think would provide some benefit to our watchers, please go to chicksandconstruction.com and share that. If you want to sell us things, don't. We're on a budget, and whatever you're selling isn't part of it.
Be sure to like and subscribe us.
Subscribe us. Do it.
Be sure to like and subscribe. And you can find us on all the social media channels, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram at Chicks and Construction Podcast, and on TikTok at Chicks and Construction.
Yes, my friends. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.